Welcome to Intentional Divorce Insights. I'm Leah Hadley, certified divorce financial analyst, accredited financial counselor, and the founder of Intentional Divorce Solutions. I'll be your guide through the complexities of divorce, finance, and emotional wellness. Join me as we uncover practical tips and empowering insights to help you navigate your divorce with clarity and intention. Hi, welcome back to Season 4 of the Intentional Divorce Insights podcast. I'm your host, Leah Hadley, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. As we begin this new season, I want to share something that's very personal, that really shaped not only who I am, but also the way I approach my work as a financial planner and as an educator. At the time that I'm recording this, I lost my mom just a few short weeks ago, and she lived a life that was really filled with reinvention, resilience, and generosity. And this episode is dedicated to her. Reflecting on her life and legacy that she leaves behind has really reminded me how her example has guided so much of what I do, especially during times of transition, like my own divorce, my career pivots. Some of you may not know my story. I actually have my undergraduate degree in sociology. I have my master's degree in education. So I started more in that area in the world. I made a big pivot and got into the investment banking world. I worked as an equity research analyst for several years before I started working with individuals and families as a financial planner. So I really have had a lot of career pivots that she really supported me through and provided guidance. Her lessons are going to be really, well, they're the foundation of what I teach in the intentional money method. That's our financial framework that we share with the women in our empowered sisterhood. And it's a values-based approach to aligning your money with your goals, which is really about building confidence to create the life that you want. So these are the lessons that I first learned from my mom. Today, I want to really honor her memory by sharing them with you and help you navigate your own season of change, whether you are facing a divorce or some other uncertainty. So one of the greatest gifts that my mom gave me was the belief that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. And I'll actually tell you that my grandmother also passed down this gift as well. She got her master's degree. My grandmother got her master's degree. I want to say she was in her 60s. Like she never stopped learning. For my mom in particular, she had a lot of different roles over the years. She was an accountant. Her undergraduate degree is in accounting. She had an MBA. She was a business owner. When my parents were married, they had a commercial tile business. Of course, she spent several years working as an accountant. She was a controller for a company, director of operations for a nonprofit. She did a little stint in commercial real estate, and she retired as director of financial aid at a college. So each time she changed careers, it was really about new opportunities to grow, to challenge herself, and to try something different. My mom's life taught me that reinvention, it's not just about starting over. And I think that's really important, but it's really about leaning into possibility. She believed that we were never truly finished and that we always have the power to choose a new path if the current one no longer aligns with who we want to become. Remember, she put in my high school yearbook, one of the fundraisers for the yearbook was parents could send in a baby picture of their senior when we were graduating, and then they could include like a little quote or a note to their kid. And the one that my mom included with my baby picture was to follow your heart. And I always remembered that that it's okay that if something is no longer in alignment, that you can make some choices and some changes. And I think that's really important lesson for anyone who's facing a life change, right? Whether it's divorce or even that empty nest stage. These moments can feel like abrupt endings, but they can also be the door to completely new beginnings. When I created the intentional money method, this lesson from my mom was really front and center in my mind, that reinvention requires intentionality, not just in our careers, not just in our relationships, but in how we approach our money as well. My mom had a knack for making thoughtful financial decisions that really supported her next step. Every career move she made was anchored in practical planning. She didn't just leap blindly. She would evaluate what she needed financially to make the transition possible. She would save as necessary and prioritize building a strong foundation before taking that next step. And that's really a key part of what I teach. Money should be aligned with your goals and your values, not just something that you're managing reactively, right? Reinvention often means asking yourself, what's the next version of my life that I want to create? And how can my money really support that vision? Maybe it's building an emergency fund to give yourself some breathing room, or setting aside savings for some retraining or starting a business. My mom's example reminds us that financial stability, it's not just about playing it safe, it's about creating freedom and the choices for yourself, right? So if you're listening and you feel stuck in a role or a title, or even a version of yourself that no longer fits, I want you to know you do have the power to change, right? Reinvention is not only possible, it's often the pathway to deeper fulfillment. And when you approach that reinvention with intention, especially with your finances, you give yourself the freedom to take bold steps forward. Which brings me to another lesson that has really shaped me, especially as I watched my mom navigate challenges with real incredible determination. So my mom was a single mom for most of my life. She was the very definition of resourcefulness. She worked incredibly hard as a professional, and while we were never wealthy, she always made sure our needs were met. There was never a sense of scarcity, just a quiet confidence that with planning and persistence, we would always have what we needed. And I remember how intentional she was with money. I remember when she sat down with me and showed me how she budgets for the year. She made thoughtful financial choices. And she approached challenges with a clear mind and a calm determination. Watching her balance career, manage our household, and still create meaningful experiences for our family taught me that resourcefulness, it's not just about having less and doing more. It's about really using what you have wisely, thinking ahead and staying flexible when life is going to throw you those curveballs one way or another, right? Many women who are going through divorce find themselves navigating new financial realities, and it can be daunting, especially if you haven't managed money before. My mom's approach to resourcefulness showed me that financial confidence isn't about having a huge bank account, although that's nice. It's about having a plan, right? It's about knowing what your priorities are. It's about making intentional decisions to build the life that you want. And that really ties directly into one of the pillars of the intentional money method, which is to spend with purpose. Resourcefulness is about clarity, it's about alignment, it's about understanding your spending habits, eliminating what doesn't serve you, and focusing on what truly supports your goals. Even when money feels tight, being intentional gives you freedom, it gives you peace of mind. Resourcefulness is also deeply connected to resilience, right? It's the mindset that I can figure this out. And that's really at the heart of what we cultivate in the Empowered Sisterhood, a place where women can find education, guidance, and encouragement so they feel supported and capable as they navigate life's challenges. So hand in hand with resourcefulness was something else my mom embodied so beautifully, and that was a deeply generous spirit. One thing that everyone who knew her would say is that she was really generous with her time and energy. Over the years, she has volunteered for so many organizations. You know, when she was young, she was a Girl Scout troop leader. When my brother was young, she was a Cub Scout leader. More recent years, she volunteered at the Parma Animal Shelter and the Cleveland Metro Parks and so many other organizations. But she didn't necessarily give because she had extra time, although maybe when she was retired she did. But she gave because she cared. She believed deeply in the power of community and the ripple effect that even small acts of kindness can create. Since losing my mom, I have been on my own grief journey, and I can't tell you how much the messages and the emails and just the kind words from people in my community have meant to me. Every note, story shared has been a reminder that generosity and connection truly do matter.
It's been healing to feel supported, to know that the work I do and the relationships I've built come back to lift me when I need it most. I've also found that when I'm working with clients, helping them to navigate their transitions, rebuild their confidence, or find clarity in their finances, it really gives me a sense of purpose that has really been incredibly comforting during this time. Helping others is really helping myself. It's a two-way street. And that's exactly what my mom understood about generosity. When you give, you do also receive. And that is a lesson that has really stayed with me, especially during seasons when life feels heavy. My mom showed me that generosity does not have to be grand. It can be as simple as checking in on a friend, sharing your story, volunteering for a cause that matters to you. My mom always made it a point to take a vacation every year. So, along with giving to others, she really taught me the importance of giving something equally precious to yourself, and that's the gift of joy. No matter how busy life got or how carefully she had to budget, she believed in creating joyful memories and taking time to recharge. Some of my favorite memories with her are from those trips. Simple moments of laughter, adventure, just being together without the constant pressures of everyday life. She showed me that life is meant to be enjoyed, not merely endured. So, since losing her, I found myself thinking a lot about this lesson. Grief can make joy feel very far away, but it's during these hard seasons that we need joy the most. Even something as simple as taking a walk on a sunny day or spending time with a friend who makes me laugh has been a lifeline. I notice that when I intentionally create space for joy, my heart feels lighter and I can show up more fully for my clients, my family, and myself. From a financial perspective, this is really where, again, that pillar of spending with purpose really resonates, right? It's about intentionally creating room in your budget for joy. My mom believed that joy was worth planning for, whether it was saving for a small trip or treating herself to something that brought her happiness. She made it a priority. Joy doesn't have to mean extravagant spending. It can be small, thoughtful choices that make life feel full and meaningful, right? And the empowered sisterhood, we're always reminding each other to celebrate even the smallest wins, to carve out that space for joy. It's not just about surviving after a divorce or any major transition, right? It's about thriving. We encourage each other to find those moments of light that give us strength to keep moving forward and to design a life that isn't just functional, but joyful. And finally, one of the most enduring lessons my mom shared was the importance of growth through learning. Even well into her retirement, she never stopped learning. And I told you my grandmother was a good example of this as well. She took classes at Baldwin Wallace University's Institute for Learning in Retirement simply because she loved to expand her knowledge. She read frequently and stayed curious about the world. That lifelong learner mindset shaped me in ways I didn't necessarily appreciate until I became an adult. It's one of the reasons I place such a strong emphasis on education and empowerment in my work, and is at the very core of what I teach. My mom believed that growth wasn't something reserved for the young, it was a lifelong process. And she showed me you don't have to have everything figured out. There's power in being a beginner, right? And staying open to new ideas and in giving yourself permission to evolve. That mindset is something I leaned on heavily during my divorce when I had to learn new skills, navigate complex financial decisions, and find my footing again. If you're going through a major life transition, it's common to feel stuck and to feel stagnant, like your story's already been written. The truth is, we are never too old to grow, to learn, or to try something new. Learning keeps us vibrant. It keeps us adaptable. It builds confidence and self-trust. It also opens doors we may have never even imagined. Doors to new careers, to new relationships, even to new ways of thinking about money and freedom. This idea of ongoing learning is deeply connected to our intentional money method. Each pillar, and actually, if you're not familiar with the pillars, they are earning with intention, spending with purpose, saving for stability, investing for freedom, and to give generously. It's about, I guess we say give with heart. It's about giving women the tools and knowledge they need to take control of their financial lives. Education is an investment that really compounds over time, just like money. When you understand how to align your money with your values, when you learn to invest wisely, or you create a solid financial plan, you open up the possibilities for a future that feels both secure and fulfilling. One of the things I personally miss most about my mom is how she was always my sounding board whenever I faced a decision, especially when it came to financial matters. She was there to help me think things through or point me in the right direction. She didn't always have all the answers, but she had the wisdom, the calm presence, and the financial wherewithal to help me figure things out. And that presence really gave me confidence when I felt unsure. That's really what inspired me to start the Empowered Sisterhood. I wanted to create a place where women could have that same kind of sounding board, a community where you can ask questions, you can get guidance, you can feel supported as you make important decisions about your future. You do not have to do this alone. I would love for you to join us. So if you are interested, you can sign up today and immediately begin accessing the tools, resources, and community support designed to help you move from surviving to thriving. You'll find the link in the show notes, or you can visit www.watchherthrive.co. I want to thank you for spending time with me today. I hope these lessons from my mom inspire you to believe in your own resilience, your capacity for reinvention, and your right to joy. As we kick off season 4, I am so excited about the conversations ahead that will continue to empower, educate, and support you in creating the life that you deserve. Until next time, take care, stay kind to yourself, and remember, you are stronger than you know.
Thank you for joining me on Intentional Divorce Insights. It's a privilege to share this time with you. I hope each episode offers valuable guidance to navigate your journey. If you find our content helpful, please leave a review to help others discover the benefits of intentional decision-making in divorce. Until next time, take care and continue to embrace your path with intention.